Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. Well, it's your future pop music this morning. Future pop music. Cyber Psychic Cinema. Wish I could still find that. I make that quote all the time, and I can't find that easily anymore. Let's go to Bubba. Hello, Hone. Oh, you're out of here. Still good to see you for the second or two that we're here. Good night, though. Sleep well. I mean, it is early in the morning now for you, or really late at night, depending on which side of midnight we're on. So, we'll see you later. You're going to be here for a while. Never mind. You're like, maybe I was going to. No. I'm going to be here for a while. That's all right.
Have a good day.
Love you. I will see you later. All righty. So we will switch to March of Robots because we are at page or day. We have to do the 4th, 5th, and 6th today. So let's go through here. First things first, let's set our, not you. Ooh. Come on. There we go. Not you, not you, not you. We're doing key today, so this is key. Oh, yeah. You're at a gas station? That's random. I mean, it's totally fine, just kind of interesting. Your 1 week off is over. Oh, noes. Actually, clicks. Oh, ouch. Honey, what do you do? Where do you work? I mean, you don't have to tell me the exact place you work. But I mean, like, What kind of work do you do? I've always wondered that. Oh, at a cafe? That makes sense. I'm like, where do you work that you're out at night so late? I make cafe. That's fair. Well, at least that's an interesting clientele. You know what I mean? Like, at least that's a different. It's not like your average Starbucks or whatever, which could be interesting or not. I don't know. Don't end somebody. Oh, yeah. It's okay, my friend. It's okay. Do the best you can. What you got. We all do. Hello, River 10001. River. I'll call you River. Sounds good to me. What's going on here? You made yourself dizzy. I just lost control of my tablet. My pen just failed. See if that fixes it. Yep. Right? The dogs that you have outside. Have you tried oil paints? Yes, I have. So my general so I have like sensory problems and I really don't like the feel of the oil paints on my hands. So when I was in art school, I had to do oil paints all the time because they made me do oil paints, but I prefer watercolors because they wash off a whole lot better. And so oils are great. And there are some people who can do some phenomenally beautiful work with oils. And I've seen some great stuff with oils, but I really can't. It's a sensory thing. It's like, I don't like it on my hands. Is it supposed to smell? They smell, to me, they always kind of smell like, I don't know, rubber almost. You know what I mean? Right. I don't do bad with oils, but I've got to like, I don't know, maybe I should wear gloves. I've never tried wearing like rubber gloves. Maybe that would be better. And then I could just go, okay, that's it. I'm done with all you people. You know, like, I mean, like, Oils are great though. I mean, if you're good at it, which I'm not, of course. Well, that's what I was saying. I have sensory issues. I have problems with certain things that I touch. I don't like the feel of certain things really bothers me. And that feel that the oil paints have, it's like motor oil on cars. I have the same problem. It's actually why I don't work on cars anymore. When I was younger, I worked on cars a lot, like repaired engines and stuff like that. And I can't do it anymore because I don't like the feel on my hands, and I feel like it never comes off. Like I have this feeling, even no matter how much I wash, that it never comes off my hands. Fish oil. No, I could see that. I could totally see that. You cosplayed at work and now you're sitting at a gas station going, well, then this happened. I get that. It's interesting you would say that, Hone. I have a buddy of mine who's a professional cosplayer, and she goes from convention to convention. And she was just talking to me this morning because we're going to be at the same convention. And she's always so friendly. She always comes over and like, hi, how you doing? And stuff like that. So interesting you say that. Talk about cosplay because I was just dealing with cosplay earlier today. Same thing. But yeah, I've never experienced it smelling like fish oil. Oh, you're just messing with the customers? That's still fun. Still fun. Cosplaying is good. So, River, have you ever tried watercolors? Because that's actually what I do for the same kind of reason. Like, not the same reason, because obviously you're having a smell issue and I have a touch issue. But, I mean, if it's a smell issue, maybe try watercolors. I like watercolors too. In fact, I kind of like watercolors a little bit better because of what it does to the paper, and it kind of gives you a little bit more chaos color. And I love chaos. So you're good with water. You do mostly pen and ink. That's usually what I do as well, is pen and ink. So, I mean, I'm with you on that one. But I've never experienced. I mean, I have my own issues with oils. Like, we don't get along, oils and I. I mean, it's a thing. Honey also does a lot of work too, right? Hone spends a lot of time on the wrong layer, like I do. We both spend a lot of time on the wrong layer. That's why we hang out here. Lots of wrong layer jokes. That's why we have a frame thing. Look, Hone, just for you and me. That's just for you and me, bud. That's for both of us, because we're always on the wrong frame. Right. You mostly do pen and ink, though. That's cool. What's your style, River? What's your genre that you usually work in? Oh, yeah. I live in Denver, and that's in Colorado, and we're at a very high altitude, and water evaporates really fast here. So watercolors are always sort of an exercise in speed for me every time for the same reason, because the altitude here just makes the water just and it disappears so fast. But you know what's great about watercolors, though? You just need to put a little bit of water back into it and it'll reactivate. And so you can get it back. Once it dries out, you can just keep putting water on it and it will reactivate. My kiddo is doing weird things. What is my kid doing? So I feel kind of bad for my kid. He's an 8th grader. I'm 7. He's a 7th grader. Sorry, he's a 7th grader, and like I have an app. Like I can monitor everything he does all day long. I feel kind of bad for him. When I was a kid, man, my mom never found out anything I did until like report cards came out. Now I literally get updates every hour on my kid. Live updates on my child. I feel kind of bad. Like, it seems kind of mean. All right. I'm not spending too much time on here because I'm behind. So we got to do 2 a day today. Right? I feel kind of like, and the worst part is like the teachers sort of expect that you are on top of it, you know? Well, maybe. I mean, like, it's probably, I mean, considering where I was at 7th grade, it's probably not a bad deal. But my kid's not the same person as me, which is interesting. He lives a very different life. And so he's a different kind of human, which means that, okay, it's a thing to track him every second of the day, but on the same token, I kind of feel like, well, what I really need to do is figure out what programs he's using at school, because those are the things that are getting him in trouble. Whether he's tardy or not makes no difference to me. I don't care. You should. If you are drawing, then that's sort of what we do here. This is an accountability stream. So if you want to join us, we can ask what you're doing, how you're doing. Are you doing okay? Do you need help? Do you want to just chat for a minute? We're just normal men. But I mean, like, if that's what we do, and so you can stay here and watch the stream, and I'll keep you company, and you can keep me company, and we'll just kind of go along, and you can draw, and I will draw. And I won't pester you, because I know you got work to do, which is fine. I'll pester Hone. That's what Hone is. Hone is having fun. Hone is here. But you feel free to hang out on the stream and draw with me, and that's fine too. We'll just keep each other company. So, all right. I am going along here, and I'm just going to kind of copy and paste that. And deselect that. This makes this just easy. No idea why Can is saying we're normal. I've tried to be normal all of my life, and that just failed miserably. How's that working for me, this whole being normal thing? Huh? No way I can be normal. I'm an artist. By default, we're already broken. We're already broken. All of us on here. Got dogs barking outside. It's like anticipating Hone going home. My dogs have started barking. So, Hone, one of the slang terms from like the 1920s or 1930s for feet were dogs. So they would say, "Oh, my dogs are really barking today," and that meant that their feet hurt. And it's like an old phrase from like 100 years ago. And so it's very, you're going to enjoy the break. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Can's making a reference to something. That's what he's into me now. Enjoy the peace while you have it. Right? I don't blame you. It's one of the best things about Starbucks. I mean, all griping you can do about Starbucks, but one of the best things about it is just sitting sometimes and just getting work done. Tyranny of blankets. Poor Can. It's a horrible thing. Sometimes you just have to deal with it. Tyranny of blankets. Okay, if you're sending me things, though, I'm drawing. So, just saying. Doesn't mean I won't look at it at some point, but if you're sending me stuff, what in the hell's going on? Oh. Right? It wasn't you. It was actually another friend of mine who cannot seem to send things. And you know those people who don't send paragraphs, but instead send one sentence, then send another sentence, then send another sentence, and then send another. You're like, just send one paragraph, people. He's a good guy, though. Oh, yeah, there you go. It's like, what's so funny? And this cracks me up every time. Every bit of technology is different. Like, we get these new technology pieces and new things, and yet you always end up with people doing the same things, right? Doesn't matter what country you're from, doesn't matter what nation you're from. Like, we all do the same stupid things every time. Like, really? Like, you'll always end up with that one friend who texts you like 27,000 times. And you always end up with that one friend who texts you and then wonders, why didn't you text back? It's been 4 minutes. You always end up, I mean, like, no matter where you are, no matter what country you live in, what kind of culture you live in, like, some of these things are just the same for all of us. It's so funny. Right? In one paragraph, please. Just one. Just send one paragraph, please. That's all I need. Hey, George. Oh, it's George time, huh? Whether I like it or not, it's George time. And you guys will get cat butt. You guys will get cat butt. You'll get cat butt. Yeah, you'll get cat butt. And you get cat butt. Still get cat butt. Oh, yeah, George gets cat butt. All right, let's put you over here, though. Right. Right. He's just a normal man. Are you just a normal man, George? You're just a normal man, aren't you? Or just a normal weird cat? I don't know, man. I really think that of all the people here, you are the least normal. There are a lot of folks here, but boy, you are not a normal one. You're weird, though. I know, right? Look at that face. Would you call that face a normal face? That's not a normal face. Right? You are not a normal cat. Yeah, see, we think you're normal. We think you're normal. What did you see? You want to go check it out? Because then I can get back to drawing. Yeah, go check it out. See whatever that is. Go explore stuff. I mean, it seems great to be. I was say, did we lose control of the pen again? I'm getting this stuff. It's weird. Like I saw this before where it just suddenly drew something. Or it's not taking inputs today. This, please. What is going on? Like, I'm having real problems with response here today. Oh, what's going on? What's slugging it out? What's the story? What's the haps? Why are you being so sluggy today? So glad I can check for faxes. That's nice. I'm gonna start closing stuff in hopes that maybe gain control of my pen back here. There we go. Still no control. Okay, I've got a control issue. We're having slow response time, and something is really slowing me down. Is that it? I can't imagine that that's our problem. Right? I don't know. I'm having... It's only problems whenever I'm trying to put the... There we go. I think we're back into control. Yeah, there we go. We're back under control. And we lost it again. I don't know. My pen just stopped working just now. Something's up with pen tablet control. Every so often. It like gets really confused. And like now it's super confused. part of it is that Adobe is running. When Adobe runs, I get like the weirdest problems. I'm not seeing control at all. Like my pin has stopped working completely. Okay, I'm going to shut stuff down. Yeah, Adobe's running, but I'm running Clip Studio on all of this, so I'm going to have to kill Adobe manually and see what happens. Because I've got a lot of stuff running right now. Bonjour service. End task. Macro tray, end task. Kills the core sync. I don't need that anyway. Kill Creative Cloud. And the content manager. And the update service. Stop doing that. I killed you for a reason. Now, I'm uploading an insane amount of stuff. SharePoint's still running for reasons. It's taking a lot of space for Notification Manager. Like the number of things that restart. Like, oh, you turned off Creative Cloud, so we're going to restart Creative Cloud. No, I really don't want you restarting Creative Cloud. Stop it. Origin Web Helper service needs to go away. I mean, like the things that just run and take up space. I don't need all this stuff. You can go away too. Trying to decide whether I need to leave SharePoint running or not. Acrobat's restarted. Adobe has restarted. And like legitimately, a lot of my memory is going to the upload that's going on in the background, but shouldn't be what's killing off my system. Very well. Hello, Melon. I'll see you later, Hone. Drive safe, be careful, and we'll see you at some other time. And get some sleep. Get some sleep. You're off work today. I might be off work too. Oh, there we go. Now we're back. All of a sudden, I've got intermittent operation going on here. That dog's gonna bark. Like it's working and then it's not. Which may mean that see you later, Hone. Have a good evening. Sleep well. I feel like part of the problem is probably this upload that I'm doing. I'm doing a very large upload. And I think I need to tell it to stop. Because because I think that's chugging out the machine so badly that I can't operate. So I'll have to clear. Now let's see if I get control back. I'm not getting control back. Still not getting control. It's not reading the pressure at all. I just swapped pins too for a fresh pin that's been on the charger for a week or two. So both of the pins should be fully charged. And it just suddenly, all of a sudden, my system's gone wonked. Today is a bad day for you to go wonky on me. And got lots of stuff to do today. Lots of work to do. Can't really deal with you being a weirdo today. Chat with who? Where are you in the... Maybe we should see if I can run calibration. No, the pin is not responding at all. Oh, fine. They make me click on these things, even though I can't. There's only one way out, and that's to click all the things with your mouse. Oh, that's not calibration. Oh, good. Good. Save your back as much as you can, my friend. Okay, we're going to save this as, because we are March of Robots 04. Because we are clearly having some real problems this morning with things. We are clearly having issues with all of the above. So I'm going to kill that, bring that down, kill this. Kill this. We're just going to kill everything. Everything except for the show. And then we're going to figure out what's going on here. So I had intermittent mouse control. Like the pen doesn't work. There's nothing. It's not working. So my pen's not responding at all. Which does make for a problem. Like, it's not responding at it anyway. It is Bluetooth, but I just swapped it out. The XP Pen comes with 2 of these. And usually one sits over there on the charger the entire time. And then whenever this one starts to act funny, I swap it out, and I literally just swapped it. Let me go make sure, though, because maybe part of the problem is that there's no power to my plug. And maybe the problem is this. Doesn't help to plug these things in if they're not plugged in on the other side. This is an issue. Now it's charging. I think I found my problem. There's my problem right there. Oh, that's my problem. So now I guess both my styluses are dead. And they have been slowly dying over the last however long because I thought they were plugged in over here on the service port. And they're not, they weren't. Now we are suffering from this is what you do whenever you don't plug stuff in properly. Let's get this juice. I'm going to plug it in over here. Well, that explains a great many things, but I only have one plug for it, so we'll give this some time to think about stuff. Now it's plugged in properly. I've got a green light on the charger, so now it's charging properly. Oh, well. So now I got to figure out, okay, now we've done that. What are we going to do if I don't have any drawing? Hey, Nightbot's firing off. Yeah, that's the same thing as what my stylus in on my Surface takes, which I could switch to the Surface and draw there. Could just switch to a sketchbook and draw there. That's not a problem, realistically. Yeah, my Surface pen is the same. Uses a four quadruple, whatever you want to call it, an A battery, A batteries. So I guess that explains a great many things. So what's been happening over there on my workbench is I have another spot over there with another camera. Yeah, I've been thinking about that because I've got a Go 3, which works and it's fine, but it doesn't feel like the pen pressure is very good, you know? So I've been kind of doing the on the Pro 6. The problem with the Pro 6 is the expense. It's super expensive. So I'm, kind of doing the So I feel like that's true. I feel like my Go is okay. It's serviceable. It does the job, but I don't feel like it's. I don't know. I had a Surface 1 back in the day, the Pro, and I actually still have it over here. It's just that it's too weak to do anything anymore. And then for a while, I had a Surface 2, and that was cool. And the only reason I'm swapping them out is because the 6 was the last one they focused on art. Well, that's good to know, actually, Melon. Thank you. Because a 6 Pro might be a little bit cheaper than... let's see. Yeah, see, they're not as expensive. That's fair. Yeah, the new ones all focus on gaming, which, I mean, gaming is great, but that's not really that's not my primary focus. I've got work to do. Yeah. And that's kind of what we need. Okay, I'm going to test to see. I'm going to restart clip. Test to see if I've got control. I mean, all I need to do is just prove that it ran just a little bit. So a little bit of charge should be fine. Let you charge and see if this was what the problem was. Yeah, look at that. We're back under control again. Yeah, so this is an XP Pen 22E, and it's not bad. It works just fine. It was definitely a battery issue. Give it a little bit of charge, and it works so much better. I think that's somewhat disturbing and irritating that it was all dead battery. Especially since I really haven't had a battery issue with either one of these guys in the life of this tablet. Like, this is the first time we've really had. In fact, I was kind of doing I don't even really believe that it needs batteries. Like, maybe it's doing fine without batteries. I don't know. So let's duplicate that layer before we do that. There we go. We can go in here with white now and kind of highlight stuff. Like namely his little antenna and whatever thing this is. It's part of his lock picking tools here. Because once we did this, we lost a little bit of the outside edge of the robot. So things like, we want to make sure we have his leg showing up like that. We'll do the same thing over here. We'll just kind of do that and that. All right, what do we want now? Hmm. Anyway. So, yeah, looks like we got this guy kind of under control here. I feel like he needs a bigger eye on this side, though. There we go. There. Just a little bit of character to the lines so that they don't look flat. Kind of work this system right here. Kind of work a little bit like that. It's interesting that you would say that, Melon, because I've heard such rave reviews about Wacom, and I also sort of felt like it didn't do so good for me. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel like it was so awesome in its own way. I don't know. And it's fine, because I think it works great for Can. I think he really likes his Wacom. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. Oh, gotcha. I didn't like the pen feel. I don't know why, but I had a real problem with the pen feel, which, it's fine. I like the pen feel of this. I actually kind of like the pen feel of this better than I like it on my Surface. It's kind of a different thing. All right. Our little lock-picking droid. He's very, very tiny, you see. He's a very, 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 very tiny lock-picking droid. Right? He's the key. We just sit him in the locks. And he click, and he goes, and then goes in there and unlocks and then comes back out. And you put him back in your pocket. He folds back up. This is in my head how it all works, you see. Yeah, I started Surfaces the first time they came out, and I want to say that was 2014 with the Surface One, that very first one. And it was all because back in the day, my wife had an iPad, and you could get like a pen for the iPad, but it had this huge plastic like sphere or circle on it, and so when you drew, you were drawing somewhere inside that circle, and it was just so weird. And it was what it was effectively doing was pretending to be a very tiny finger drawing on it. So you didn't really have a lot of pen pressure, you didn't have a lot of control, and and stuff like that. And I was like, why is this so hard for them? Why do they make that difficult. It shouldn't be that difficult. Yeah, and that was where I was. I have a massive, right over here, I have this huge, really, really big scanner. It's massive. And um and it's for scanning in 8.5 or 11 by 17. So it's a 11 by 17 scanner and printer. So it'll print on 11 by 17 as well. And my method of doing comics was to take my work and print it out on 11 by 17, and then sketch and then scan that, then print that out and blue line, and then go through and ink and then scan that in. And so there was like four scans and prints or something like that per page on every page of comic. And back in the 90s, I only had an 8.5 by 11 scanner, and so I had the pages that I used for scanning, and I think I still have a couple of them over here for doing comic work. Let's see. Anyway, I had these pages that I used for comic work that had all these alignments on them, because what you do is I would draw on the 11 by 17, and then I'd take it over to my scanner and I'd stick it in the top part and scan that, then flip it around and put it in the back part or bottom part and scan it, take it into Photoshop and align them up, and had to adjust them and turn them until they were all aligned properly. Then I could flatten the layer. Then I had my blue. So it was like 2 scans per every pass. And that was getting insane. It's just super insane. And so whenever I look at this, I'm thinking this is still far, far faster than anything I have ever done. And so it's just so much faster and so much more efficient. And now, I mean, you're not wrong. Copics are stupid expensive and ridiculous, and they cost way too much. And it's the same thing with me. I mean, like, why run through that many Copics? All of my Copics over there I bought while I was in Japan, and there was a store called Joyful Honda, and it was just down the street, and they would have sales. And so every so often I'd go in there and there'd be a sale on Copics, and they'd be like 100 yen a piece or whatever, which is about $1. And so I'd pick up as many of them as I could. It's on sale. So like, you'll look at my Copics and I've got all the colors in there, and then I've got like 67 zillion different shades of purple or something, because you can tell that was when they had a sale at Joyful Honda. And so I had to go in there. And then some of my Copics didn't make it back because Denver is at a very high altitude compared to Tokyo. And I did not expect that. And so once all my Copics got up here to high altitude, they all started to ooze all their ink out. And it was like, and some of them cracked the shells and stuff like that. So over the years, I've had to replace my Copics and stuff like that. And it's just been so brutal. And I still have, like, over, where is it? Is it over here? I still have, like, the Copic refill packs, because you can do refill packs so that if your Copic dries out, it's got a tank of ink with a needle, and you shove the needle into the side of the nib, and you just refill the Copic. I've got a few of those that are all in blues. Like, I only have like shades of blue. It's so weird. Anyway, the long and the short of it is, I totally agree with you, my friend. I totally agree. Tiny artists, shared resources, textures. This is where using a texture would be perfect for this. I know I've got a texture. It's like wood grain or something like that. And I can use that finally for once. Never been able to use it because I don't know what I use wood grain for. But clearly, I'm not getting a lot of work done today, which is clearly what's happening. Wood grain. Look at that. That's huge thing. Wood grain. Oh, copy. Take that over here and paste. And do this. And take this. And rotate it 90 degrees. And hit OK. And do that. And I don't really care. Sometimes it's very important to not mess up the pattern. But in this case, I don't think I care. So what I'm going to do is go here first and do this. And go here and say Control-Shift-I and then delete. And then deselect. And then I'm going to also go to this guy. And I'm just going to go outside here like this. And say Control-Shift-I and delete. And deselect. And then we're just going to hand ink in a little bit of gray for this real quick. So I'm going to go in with I've got this skin brush that I got from Wallop, W-L-O-P, who has these phenomenally cool brushes. And I'm just going to go in and kind of do this, just braise it a little bit. I love this brush. It's one of their skin brushes they use for doing skin work, but it also makes it look like a painting, and I love that. So I'm a patron of Wallop, and when you're a patron of Wallop, they give you their brushes every so often, and so I pilfered a bunch of their brushes because I love them. So useful. Right, and so going in here, and we're going to drop the colors a little bit here and just do this. Gives it just a little bit of a feel that there's a shine on it. Do that here too. I didn't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to go in here with a pen. Just do this and go like so. And go like this and like that. That. We'll fill those like that. And then I will make it a multiply function like so. And that'll give the effect that it's light, or that it's a dark color. Then I'll run it along the rim here like so. And that way it makes this look like it gives it the same effect as a coin. Like a coin. Which will have sort of this kind of lighting going for it. There we go. Yeah. I see a lot of dumb things on Twitter, Ellen. I mean, so you're gonna tell me what we're going for here. That wasn't to say you didn't see the dumbest. Tell me what the dumbest thing you saw. That was a stupid statement on my part. Don't mind me. I'm having a moment. That is kind of weird. Although might not be bad to have my kid's name on a towel. I could see that. My kid is notorious for going to the beach and losing the towels because, of course, we're not beach people. So it's not something he thinks about. And so when we're at the beach, he's like, oh, this is so cool. And then he, loses his towel, loses everything, loses his sunglasses, loses everything, that whole thing. That's a normal thing for a kid to do. But I agree that is kind of weird though with your picture. I don't know if I want that. Okay, you live in a beach state. So answer well, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, obviously. But I am curious. Do you have people steal towels? I heard that. It's like a disconnect and reconnect sound. Oh yeah. I know. Your dad told me to come get you. They go for wallets. I figure. You got to carry your keys somewhere. And food? They steal your food? Oh my god, people. It's not like in Japan where everybody always steals your umbrella. It's funny too because Japan's entire culture is so so polite and everything like that it's funny that one of the weird idiosyncrasies of the culture is your umbrella will get stolen. And it's just an idiosyncrasy of the culture. Right. Yeah. Although one thing that Rutger Bregman will bring up, and he brings it up a lot, is the most dangerous thing. Most kidnappings of children occur by people who know them. Like by a lot. Like it's 90%. 90% of children's kidnappings are by people who know them. Uncles, dads, moms. Yeah, but it's always, like, statistically speaking, it's not a high ticket item. It's just very useful. Umbrellas are just very useful, horribly useful. So they're into that. But yeah, I mean, like, that's the statistics. And of course, the statistics are statistics. You know, they're better here and worse there or whatever. So it's hard to say whether the statistics are better or worse in a location. But yeah, statistically, you are more likely to have your child abducted by somebody you know. Doesn't mean you should be printing their names on a backpack, though. I agree. That's actually something that Rutger Bregman had said as one of the more interesting things is we've spent so much time and effort in our society to protect kids from being kidnapped. And the reality is nobody's actually addressing the problem, which is that they're often kidnapped by people who know them, and like by a great margin. And since we don't deal with that, we instead protect ourselves against the, traffickers or things like that, which isn't to say that the traffickers don't exist. He's just saying that since 90% of kidnappings are people who know them, there needs to be somebody needs to be dealing with that problem, and nobody is. And instead, we're worrying about our kids getting snatched on the way to school, which is making our society not send their kids to school by walking. They drive every day, which is actually like hard on the environment and hard on the society. And, parents have to drive their kids every day. And it was one of those things that was interesting. My mom used to be a probation officer here and I live in Arvada and Westminster, which is a suburb of Denver. And this is the same suburb I grew up in. So I'm actually only about an eighth of a mile from the house I grew up in. And so I walked to the same school that my kid walks to right now. I mean, because it's the same school. And statistically speaking, it was markedly more dangerous when I was walking to school than it is for him. But today, everybody drives their kid to school because they're worried about, the kid being kidnapped. And I think that part of what he was saying, Bregman, was that on the one hand, it makes no sense. But on the other hand, it's not that there's a lot of a chance of a bad guy getting my kid. The problem is, if a bad guy gets my kid, the repercussions are so disproportionately horrible. And that's the problem. And he's like, that makes total sense. There's a logic there. So it's not that we're wrong to do that. It's just interesting how it turns out to be with the way we see things and perceive things. Okay, I'm going to bring up the luminosity. My machine is chugging. I don't know what the story is. The machine really is chugging a lot. Something's weird. It's not just this, because this is on mouse, so it shouldn't be a problem. So we're going to drop... What color do we want today? We've done black. We did red. We did orange. We did blue. Guess we could do purple? Right? I mean, we could do purple. We haven't done purple. Take the green down to there. Let's make this a little bit more purplitic. So I'll take the blue down to about there. There, it looks good. We'll take you and we'll do some, let's do some, desaturation a little bit. Let's bring it down and its luminosity up. And from here, I can change the hue to anything I want at this point, if I wanted to. I've got some good transport once I get into this spot. But I like it at purple. Right? Like my little keybot here, right? He's a keybot. That's what he does. He unlocks stuff. We'll save it. I'll put my... Maybe what I'll do is I will call it early today because clearly my PC needs a reboot. It is. So I, over the weekend, spent some time. I have an archive of all of the things that belong to the convention, NandasCon. And it's a 2 terabyte hard drive. And I'm terrified because, of course, if I drop that hard drive, everything I have worked on to collect every picture that I have ever tried to collect, all the things, everything will disappear instantly. So, I've been very worried. Well, just 2 weeks ago, the board of NDK got us a Google Drive. So now I can move everything up to the Google Drive. And that's great. That's wonderful. But it's getting to the point where it's got, you look at it, it says, 47 hours remaining on the upload, because putting up 2 terabytes of data onto the Google Drive through a normal wireless connection is ridiculously slow. So that's been interesting. Needless to say, I think what's happened is it was trying to upload 2012 and 2011, which were 100 gigabytes and 120 gigabytes worth of pictures and art assets and things like that. And it was trying to upload all of those while I was trying to do work this morning and probably broadcasting. And so I think that maybe we have just overloaded my machine a little bit, and now all of its memory is clogged up and everything is all clogged, and I just need a good clean restart. But it's 10:30 and I've been kind of dragging my feet on the restart because I know that means pretty much ending the show, because there's no point in ending the show and then restarting the show once I have done the restart, because it's going to take a few minutes for it to restart and get back up online, and then I have to go through and manually kill stuff and things like that. I really need to go into my start folder and fix this, like my startup apps folder here. You shouldn't be on, you shouldn't be on, you shouldn't be on. I don't care about Cortana. Google Drive, no, you shouldn't be on. Like going through here, I'm like, you shouldn't be on, you shouldn't be on. Skype should be off. Windows security is on, that's okay. Here we go. But yeah, going through and like just trying to see all the things that get themselves turned back on. Like Adobe keeps turning all of its stuff back on to startups. So every time you turn everything off, the moment it gets an update, the first thing it does on update is reinstall everything to your start programs. Yes, I do, but what I really need to do today, I really, really need to take my Springs book to like a Kinko's or an Office Depot and have them printed. That's what I really, really need. Because once it's printed, Mariah can go through and do edits on it, and we can do corrections on the comic strips and get Springs rolling out the door. And that's really kind of what our primary job should be, because the sooner that can happen, the more Springs can be done. And then once that Springs book is done, it's done. So we should probably do that. That should probably be done. So I'm actually thinking it's 10:30. I'm going to probably call the show, restart the machine, and then I've done March of Robots, so we can save it as, and we'll do this real quickly here. We'll just save it as a JPEG. And well, we can't do that yet. We got to do this. There we go. How big is Springs? It ended up being 100 and something pages. Hang on. I'll check it real quick. Which is going to, of course, kind of fire this off. 115 pages. Weighs in at 115 pages. Not bad. Save that. And then I'll do a size change on it. Hang on, you guys could probably watch me doing this, although it's not like it's critical. We'll do a size change. Width to 1000 so that it'll be less of a pain in the butt on Instagram. Save as. So that's my thought. I think I'll do that, and then that'll be cool. Real quickly, we will bring up, I was looking up surfaces, but since I'm probably going to use my password to get into stuff, I will go here. We'll do a new one, and I'll create, select from the computer, that's you, show it original sized, that's you, next, next, and at March of Robots. Day 4. I'm already behind. Key. Add location. Here. Add location here. Pretty much just here. Alrighty. Go to my desktop real quick, where I have kept all of my hashtags. And then I'll just put this out here. All right. And then I will fire it off. There we go. Now I posted it to Instagram, so that's out. We'll still have to do a couple of these because suckage, but we're behind, and that's okay. We'll live. All right. So Springs ended up weighing in at 115 pages, which is good. That's a good-sized book. It's markedly bigger than its original. The original first one that I did, which is this guy here. This was book 1 of this. Here, I'll switch back to my normal monitor. I'll close this a little bit because that helps. But yeah, book 1 of Springs I made in 2014. And it's not that big. It ended up being about 45 pages, 46 pages. That was where we were, was 45, 46. And that's where we ended up, was at the end of that. So that's where we are there, and that's cool. So yeah, I've managed to waste a few more minutes posting to Insta. That's useful. So now I feel like we really are kind of at the I should shut everything down and restart the PC sort of moment. Let everything kind of cool off for a second. I've closed everything. There is a known memory leak in Chrome. And so the best thing I can do is to just reboot everything, and that'll clear the memory leak. It'll also clear all of those error reports. I've got a ton of error reports because of a crash of OBS that happened over the weekend, where if you guys were here with Ken and me, OBS kept crashing over and over and over. And so ultimately, I got to the point where I just left OBS off because it was not interfacing well with Lightroom, which was fine. Usually when I use Lightroom, I can't broadcast it anyway because Lightroom, usually whatever I'm doing on Lightroom requires me to, it's either a client that I'm working for. It's almost always a client I'm working for. I don't use Lightroom for anything else. So, and I don't have the permission from the client to broadcast pictures, even if it is just boring houses, which it usually is, just houses. But I don't have permission from my clients to broadcast those pictures. So Lightroom crashes OBS. That's not going to be that big of a problem. And let's see, what else? Hey, Brent. That's totally cool. It's all right. I got to leave early anyway because we've clogged up my memory. And so we need to restart. And with 15 minutes left in the show, there's no real point in restarting, bringing everything back up online, and then restarting the show for 5 minutes. So I'm just kind of stalling for time for a minute longer just so that I can feel like I got something done. But I do need to make sure that I take this guy with me because I'll need this to print out the book, which is what I'm going to do here in a minute. I'm just going to go print books, book print. That's what we're going to do. Go get lunch and print books. I have no idea what lunch I'm going to get. I'm going to go get lunch and then I'll print books. That's a good thing. I hope your migraine gets better, my dear friend, because that sucks. We just got Melon better. She's doing better. So now we need you to do better too. Like all of us are feeling kind of sick. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go to Office Depot and print out the Springs book and then give it to Mariah and have her go through line by line to make sure my spelling is correct, make sure that we found when we did the original book, this guy back here, when we did this book, we found a whole bunch of just little stupid spelling errors, like shouldn't have been in there sort of things, like really could have used one pass at least on editing. And so before I go roll that book again, we've got more comics and things like that. But also, I mean, there might be something she could see where this comic could be pumped up. It could be a little bit funnier if we changed this or changed that. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, that could be very useful. And so kind of looking at that, and one pass for all of this wouldn't hurt. You know what I mean? Like, I might even send it out to you, Brent, if you're willing to take it. It's 115 megs though. It's pretty big. But if you're willing to look it over and just, this comic could be funnier if we did X, or this comic could be funnier if we did Y, or if you want to just check for spelling and check for errors and, stupid stuff. The problem is with the only problem I've got is how to get it easy for you to make those notes. Like, I guess you could go in with a PDF, you could probably just circle stuff, right? With a red pen in a PDF, even if it's crappy circle done with your mouse. I don't care. That's not important. It doesn't have to be pretty. So yeah, let's do that. If you're willing to do that, my friend, when you don't have a migraine, sometime this week, I mean, like, let's try to get it done before the end of the week-ish, give or take. We still have a lot of time before the print deadline, but the sooner I can get this book off and running, the better, you know? So, let's do that. I will set up, I know I have a Brent share somewhere. Don't I have a share with Brent? How do I not have a share with you? How did I end up with not a share with Brent? Huh. Funny. Share with Brent. Because this is a thing you and I do a lot. So I don't know how I don't have a share with you. That's bizarre. So I'll just set up a share with Brent. On here for you. And give it to you on the OneDrive. It needs to synchronize. Still needs to synchronize. Yeah, but I can't share 115 meg files easily. But if I give you a file folder that we use forever and it's a permalink and it never dies, you can dump stuff off in there and I can give you things and we can exchange stuff back and forth that are much bigger than whatever will be allowed in email. Come on, synchronize. I got better things to do with my life than to wait for you. It's 540 megs. I'm sorry. What was I saying? It's 540 megs. That's pretty serious. So it's pretty hefty, and it's not a small thing that I can easily... There's nothing in this share folder with EarthTow, so I don't think I'm going to be working with EarthTow very much. We have a negativity bias going on with EarthTow right now. Something went south, and I'm not sure how or where, but we have a communication issue. And so I think we are at least temporarily done with EarthTow. So by the time we restart with EarthTow, it'll be an entirely different universe. So it's probably fair to delete their folder. I mean, as in, I don't think they hate me or anything like that, but I think we've got a working with Guy is difficult sort of problem because there was a communication error at some point in time. Early on, while I was still kind of figuring out my negativity bias, I think I got super sensitive to negativity. And so I think that made for a lot of jumping to conclusions that didn't need to be jumped to and stuff like that. Find Brent, because Brent has messaged me at some point here. Brent. Okay, there we go. This is a permalink, so you can save it and it will always be the same. So it will never leave. I guess if I delete it, it'll leave, but we're still uploading over on my side, so you probably won't see anything just yet. So, save it somewhere, store it, whatever. And I won't delete this folder, and then you can stick stuff on it, and I'll stick stuff on it, and we'll just, bookmark it, because it's never going to go away. Because sending stuff to you for edit should be part of my normal everyday process. If you're okay with that, that would be cool. Having I just sometimes just need another pair of eyes. Like, stupid stuff. Always, the rule of comic books is either you put periods in your speech bubbles or you don't. But whatever you do, stick to one of them. And I have chosen to not put periods in my speech bubbles. That's the standard I have. So all I need is just somebody sometimes to go, you put a period in. You know? Like, yeah, Pepper is talking about doing it as well. I'm still synchronizing. There's still problems with my sync. Why are we synchronizing so much? Oh my God. Oh, we're still uploading 283, 285, 286, 287. You get the idea. I won't restart the machine. Hey, I might actually waste enough time to make it to the end of the show. If you're willing to just, like, things that you know are always the thing. I always try to keep, there are no periods. There should never be a period at the end of my speech bubbles, either in Bellatrix or in Springs. Unless, the exception, of course, is ellipses. And that's why I use so many ellipses or dashes. And I should probably not be using ellipses as much as I should be using dashes. But anyway, things like that just need to be called out, and we need to find them and then fix them, and then we should be fine. And then stuff. Things like that. And, you know, obviously, here is a Emery board. That should be an Emery board, you know, or whatever. And stuff, stupid stuff like that. I'm sure I'll find a lot of that. But I also wouldn't mind if you would signal when you think a comic is questionably funny, and maybe see if we can't come up with something which can be funnier but doesn't require redrawing. That could be useful too. So, speaking of Emery boards, I want to go get an Emery board. One of the things that I have discovered happens now with psoriasis, thank you psoriasis, is I get these striations in my my nails, which is just ugh. Yeah, do the editor things. It's probably not going to happen as much with the later ones, because the later ones are usually done online. I do them here, you see them. Usually you guys will call me out on it in show, you know, so like I don't have to worry as much, but you'll find them in the earlier ones. Where are we on the upload? Because I cannot reboot until we've uploaded. 493 of 530, 497, 499, 500. We're almost there. So when you don't have a migraine, this is not something you should do today. Please don't concentrate hard on my Springs book today. It is not that urgent. But when you don't have a migraine, let's go ahead and do that, and then that'll be cool. And I'll just, from now on, and we've got a green light. All right. So you should be able to see the Springs First collection out there. It should be fine. And then I don't have to worry about that anymore. We'll do the same thing with the roughs of Momentary Ghosts 2 and 3. And when we get on to Oxygen Inc. or Sakura. Sakura is the next episode of Bellatrix Rising. So when we move to Sakura, you can go through the same thing on that one. So anyway, now we've managed to waste the entire time. So today was technical difficulties day. There's just nothing I could do about it, but that's all right. We got it. We got it under control. Brent has a permalink now and can get 2 things. So that's good. And Ken, while you're here, if you want, and if Brent's okay with it, I can share the link with you as well. And you can throw things onto my OneDrive for Brent to look at. You know what I mean? If Brent wants to do that, if Brent's into that idea, if that's something Brent wants to do. So, clearing stream in 5. Is that okay? Okay, cool. Well then, guys, I am OOH. I'll see you guys tonight after Geek Tank. Brent, I hope you feel better, my friend. And until then, as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Goodbye.